Mark Fisher with Mark and the Millennials. Today we have Dumbing Down America, and the dumbest bill in the United States. Is America becoming an idiocracy? We have with us Andrew, the Fuji Fulginiti, and Ryan, the Squirrel Brady. How you guys doing?
What's up?
So first we have the dumbing down the SAT. The SAT has a new adversity score. Basically, the College Board, according to the Wall Street Journal, will now assign an adversity score to SAT test takers calculated using 15 factors, including the crime rate and poverty levels from the student's high school and neighborhood. And here's the thing. You don't even get to know how you're being rated by the SAT board. You get to get your score, of course, of what you actually accomplished on the SAT for math and English and so forth, but they don't tell you what your adversity score is. How's that fair? We have a clip on this. We're going to play that right now.
The College Board says this fall, along with SAT results, 150 schools will receive a separate score judging an applicant's community and high school. The new so-called adversity score will consider 15 factors, including the economic, crime, and historical makeup of a student's community. The College Board's president says the information, quote, shines a light on students who have demonstrated remarkable resourcefulness to overcome challenges and achieve more with less. The Wall Street Journal broke the story, reporting the scores will range from 1 to 100, with higher scores signaling more hardships a student may face. Trial runs have already taken place at Florida State and Yale.
This is identity politics run amok. This is assigning a score to students that they won't be aware of, but that colleges will have access to.
So guys, no one likes the SAT, but what do you think about this new adversity score idea? I mean, why are they doing it?
Try to even the playing field, I guess, but honestly...
What does that mean, though? Even in what way?
Well, honestly, if you don't have the academic fortitude, like I sucked at tests. My SAT score was pretty atrocious.
I think most people do, seriously. Standardized tests.
But that if you can't handle the academic workload right now as you are, you maybe should look at community college, not go to Harvard or Yale. Because honestly, if you go to Harvard and Yale based off these new criteria, because you got a low SAT score or low GPA, and you go back up there, you're probably set for failure. And then you're also going to have like, oh, you flunk out in the first semester, and then you're not going to think you're not good enough. And then also, it's just a trickle down effect. I always find it to be an issue of if they're not prepared for the college at that age in high school, then the public education system needs to be re-looked at again, probably needing more funding. I'm not saying I'm not against public education, just saying we need to manage it better and improve it. But where do we start? It's just going to keep tumbling down on how bad it is.
Andrew, they're not telling you what your score is, your adversity score. So, I mean, how is that fair? How can you ever know whether you're qualified to get into a college?
First of all, I think the whole SAT is a sham. I hate the test. I think we shouldn't use it to determine whether or not you should go to college. But besides that, I think they're identifying a problem that exists, right? There's unequalness probably in the way that, some students go through. But the way they're going about fixing this is they're trying to equalize outcomes instead of fix the root cause, which is the education system. If they brought everyone up to the same level at the starting point and let everyone have the same opportunities in schools and things like that, then the outcomes would be proof of, the students' work rather than you trying to give them an adversity score to boost up, their scores.
Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, they should look at the whole person in effect.
Yes.
Say, volunteering, extracurriculars. Did you set up a community outreach program when you're in high school, especially in these more poverty-stricken or minority-centric neighborhoods, which I think is the goal to get more minorities, more
but they're saying
disadvantaged groups.
That's harder in poorer areas. So they're saying since you're poor, you can't do that. You don't have as many opportunities, which I don't believe.
That's almost an insult to the people that live in those communities.
I agree. In fact, there's more opportunity to do community service, I think, in those communities because there's more need.
What does it say about that? The people that run those communities, those poor communities, are typically Democrat-led communities. So what does this talk say more about who's running them and giving the opportunities, or the person itself?
And I bet you can find someone with a lower GPA or a lower SAT score that are in those communities that actually have all the things we just mentioned. Actually, you'd be a better student than someone who got a full perfect score on an SAT, because they have actually the social capital to actually interact and understand from different perspectives. They don't need all these differentiators of, I was in a poverty-stricken neighborhood, I lived in government-funded housing, I lived on food stamps. Great, that can make your whole story and actually round you around as a person and be beneficial.
And Harvard has done this in reverse, because Harvard basically is discriminated against Asian students because it has so many qualified Asian students that they say that they want to... Don't we have a clip on this? We have a clip on... Let's hear this clip.
Harvard's accused of discriminating against Asian American applicants. All rise, Judge Napolitano is here. Background, please.
The background is that these plaintiffs are unidentified, and neither Harvard nor the court knows who they are. This is extremely unusual that a case would go into federal court and nobody knows who the plaintiffs are. But they are alleging that the algorithms, for lack of a better word, the formula used by Harvard, which has never been made public, aggressively discriminates against Asians. Now,
it should be public. I mean, it should absolutely be public, because basically you have so many Asians who are applying to Harvard who are more qualified than so many other students of other races that Harvard's saying, no, we're going to discriminate against Asians. So it's this adversity score that's kind of using the same thing, but perhaps maybe in reverse. Should it matter? Shouldn't your score matter? It either doesn't or it doesn't. It does or it doesn't.
I don't like the scores. I don't think the SAT should be like I said, I don't think
be-all,
SAT should
end-all.
be. Yeah, exactly. Like you said, I mean, I think you need a whole person assessment. There's got to be some sort of criteria put in place for all colleges to say, all right, here's the criteria, and it doesn't have to do with SAT scores. It should be looking at the students' grades throughout their duration of their education, and then taking into account all of those extras. Life and extracurricular activities, all that stuff.
See, I'm a little biased with my example. Like Eagle Scout, if I see an Eagle Scout on anything, even job application, because I'm one to be biased.
Yep.
If I see Eagle Scout on application or a college application, I don't really care about your GPA or your SAT scores, because I know you had real life experiences in a multitude of different environments. You know hard work, you know discipline, you know leadership, and you subscribe to a more morality life, and you know how to act as a normal person in society.
Right. So basically they're saying merit doesn't matter, right? There's some other score out there. We're not going to tell you what it is. We're going to measure it. You're not going to know, but you're probably going to be asked a lot of questions on the SAT that have nothing to do with your true intelligence. And then, of course, you're going to say, well, wait a minute, I have a better score. My merit doesn't matter. So final thoughts on this before we go to an Idiocracy clip.
Not thought through well.
Yeah, the test is flawed. I think it should be thrown out, but they're going about it the wrong way, and they're not solving the problem.
Absolutely. So, folks, listen to this. There's a movie called Idiocracy. Many people have seen this, and this clip from Idiocracy, I'm going to set it up. Luke Wilson is plummeted 50 years. He's pushed 500 years, into the future accidentally. And he goes to see a doctor because he's trying to figure out how he can get back to where he started, which is 500 years previously. And so he sees a doctor, and the entire theme of Idiocracy is it's democracy gone amok. Everybody is stupid, but he is the smartest guy, of course, in this new Idiocracy environment. And here's the clip when he visits a doctor. Go.
Hey, how's that essay?
Yeah, right. Well, not so good. I don't really know what's going on, but I'm seeing things. I think it might be because of these drugs the Army put me on. But if you could just get me well enough to get back to base.
Right. Kick ass. Well, don't want to sound like a dick or nothing, but it says on your chart that you're f***ed up. You talk like a fag, and your shit's all retarded. What I do is just like you know, you know what I mean? Like,
well, this movie hasn't aged well.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Not
America
PC.
of the future, right? That's America of the future with an SAT without merit, right? You can have doctors who really think they became doctors because of the adversity score. I mean, that's what the future looks like.
If low IQ is considered adversity, I guess it's right.
Absolutely. So next up, Trump rolls out merit-based immigration system. First we talk about the SAT where merit doesn't matter, and now we have Donald Trump coming and saying merit does matter, and we should base immigration on merit. And we have a clip on this. We have to hear this.
As a result of our broken rules, the annual green card flow is mostly low wage and low skilled. Newcomers compete for jobs against the most vulnerable Americans and put pressure on our social safety net and generous welfare programs. Only 12% of legal immigrants are selected based on skill or based on merit. In countries like Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, and others, that number is closer to 60 and even 70 and 75% in some cases. The biggest change we make is to increase the proportion of highly skilled immigration from 12% to 57%, and we'd like to even see if we can go higher.
So should merit matter, guys, for people who are coming into the United States? Should that be something that we look at?
Yeah, I think so. I think merit matters. I mean, like Trump said, there's other countries that have a much greater threshold for, the type of people they seek to bring in and to earn
Absolutely.
citizenship. I mean, there's no perfect plan for fixing immigration. I think we have to look at it as all right, does the plan that he's proposing include good things? And it's not excluding people that are going to seek asylum. It's not excluding all these things. It's just increasing the people that we believe actually work and truly have the merit to come
Skill
in.
sets matter, right?
Yeah,
Do you
of
bring
course.
skills to the table, or are you coming here to go on the public dole? Do you want to learn English? Do you know English already? I mean, these are I think he has 15 criteria that he has in his list. Ryan, come on, let's hear about this. The millennial perspective. We want to hear this about merit.
Immigration won't be solved until this issue is no longer a political football between our parties right now. But yeah, merit should be considered because honestly, the people that want to be here and based on what their backgrounds are, they should be allowed in based on those criteria. Honestly, though, not everyone. You can't keep letting everyone into the country. It's unsustainable, and also we got to look at ourselves, fix our infrastructure. Take care of the Americans that are here. Look at the San Francisco Bay Area. As people are living homeless because of the rising real estate rates. And then, what about San Francisco being such a mecca of great social welfare? It's falling totally apart. There's fecal matter, and they have to sanitize the streets with chemicals.
Disgusting.
Come on.
But people come here, and let's say they have no skills. They go on the public dole. So now we have to educate them. They don't know English. We have to figure out a way of getting them into the mainstream to actually be productive. To assimilate, yes. And this is important, and this is part of the dumbing down of America theme of this podcast, because we already talked about, of course, the movie Idiocracy, and there's a scene in Idiocracy where they talk about this drink. It's kind of like a Gatorade drink called Brondo. I think it's even spelled a really strange way, and they use it to water plants, and throughout, of course, the United States at that particular time, 500 years in the future, all the plants are dying, and they're running out of food, and they can't figure out why. So Luke Wilson, who's the protagonist in this movie, basically asks them, "Why are you using Brondo?" And so this is the conversation he has with these complete idiots. Thus, the name of the movie, Idiocracy. Here's the clip.
Brondo's got what plants crave. It's got electrolytes.
So wait a minute. What you're saying is that you want us to put water on the crops.
Yes.
Water. Like out the toilet?
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be out of the toilet, but yeah, that's the idea.
But Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
God help us all.
That's the future of America with the new SAT that has no merit. And of course, if Congress doesn't pass a bill to require merit for future individuals who are trying to get in this country, that's what our country is going to look at like, right?
Does that not sound like one of those AOC Snapchat videos? It's like, wait, we put water on plants and in the dirt and they grow?
If you add water to dirt, it turns into mud.
Maybe she could put Brondo on her garden in the backyard, Because Brondo's got what plants crave.
But this clip is so true to the issue. This clip is so true to the issue of immigration in DC politics as usual. I mean, it's more of the same. This clip goes on and on where they're just like, well, I don't understand it. They told us that Brondo works, so we're gonna keep doing it. It's what we've been told. And Trump says 54 years they haven't changed immigration policies. So there's got to be some sort of process.
Well said. No critical thinking skills in government. None. No critical thinking skills in idiocracy. That's the reason why people keep doing the same thing over and over again, including in education, of course. Right? Ryan?
Yeah, we're all messed up. That's going to take a little while to unpack. I can go on for a while.
I think someone should start a Brondo brand, and that should be the commercial. They'd probably make millions. They have to get licensed, of course, from the movie producers. But what a brilliant idea!
Well, speaking about Idiocracy, a lot of brands signed up for that movie and they didn't realize what it was, and they asked it all to be taken out post production.
Is that right?
Yeah,
it should be. Brondo's got what Democrats crave. It's got electrolytes. So now we have Vice President Pence. He spoke at, I think, is it Taylor University? Yeah, and Taylor University is a Christian university. And And as a university, of course, they uphold Christian values. So he went to speak there, and unfortunately, a lot of people walked out. It wasn't, of course, the majority, but there was a minority that walked out, which goes to the lack of critical thinking skills. And we have a clip on this. Let's hear the clip.
I was really disappointed in Taylor's decision to welcome Pence as our commencement speaker. I think it was an inappropriate decision. I think his presence makes it really difficult for everyone in the Taylor community to feel welcome and celebrated at our commencement. It's not anything official. It's just if anyone who does not want to be a part of Pence's speech at our commencement is able to walk out to a different part of the building and then return after his speech.
So Pence says, throughout most of American history, said this at Taylor University, throughout most of American history, it's been pretty easy to call yourself a Christian, but things are different now, he said. Lately, it's become acceptable, even fashionable, to malign traditional Christian beliefs. So as you prepare to leave this place and will your life on a Christ-centered, world-engaging foundation poured here at Taylor University, be prepared to stand up. Guys, thoughts about this? Why can't folks listen? Why are they incapable of listening to something that they disagree with?
Thin skin has been ingrained in the millennial generation and now the following generations after it, and I don't know how to reverse that because I actually embrace when people disagree with me and I listen to opposing opinions, and when people make fun of me, I laugh at myself saying, you're right, take it on the chin and keep on working. Life is not, don't take life too hard.
That's the whole point of education, right? Being able to have critical thinking skills and listen to ideas that you may not necessarily agree with.
And unfortunately, Andrew and I don't, maybe speaking for him, but from my experience at least, and probably because we're on the same mindset here, I did not feel okay talking about my own opinions when I was in college because some kids got angry. Teachers would be like, oh, well, you're not right, but even though it's like, well, there's...
And they might give you a lower grade. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard.
I did that in high school. I'll talk about how I liked Obamacare. Did not agree with it. Got a B+. There we go.
Yeah, but that's the thing. We were clearly minorities on the university based on our thoughts and political beliefs. But we sat through classes where we were definitely a strong minority, and we listened, we engaged, we didn't walk out or drop the class. Honestly, we didn't have much options. But
I wanted to graduate.
What frustrates me about this is that it's not that the students got up and walked out, but it says faculty got up and walked out. And that's why kids are doing it, is because faculty are sanctioning this, and they're saying it's wrong too. And the kids are like, all right, well, my teacher agrees with me, right? It's groupthink now. They're not saying, college is the place where you're supposed to challenge your ideas and sit there and listen to it. If you disagree with it, come up with an argument as to why it's wrong.
I went to a May Day parade. I had to go to a May Day parade. If anyone doesn't know, it's basically an all-pro socialist type rah-rah-rah rally. Che's great, all that good stuff. And if I didn't attend to it, I would have been marked absent, and that would have been a demerit on my grade.
That was a requirement.
She took the whole class. I had to go. I was like,
it's a good thing.
Yeah. I took it in, but, if I left, I didn't leave, but what if you had to go to, a very conservative or very, a Trump rally to see the other viewpoint or something like that? Ooh, that would have been a petition.
They never allow that.
They would not allow it, no.
Not in a million years. So, the fact that the faculty, some members of the faculty walked out, as you said, Andrew, that is what is so astonishing because, of course, these are young adults. They're adults, but they're young adults. And
impressionable still.
Very impressionable. And also, they fear power. And their professors have power and the ability to fail them or pass them. And they want to be popular. They want to be in.
It kind of goes. Cool. It goes to show that, I feel like the mindset hasn't changed since 2016. I remember after the Trump election, everyone that was shocked and blown away that thought he had no chance and were triggered and had their blowouts, right? And they're like, defriend me if you have a different opinion. I don't want anything to do with you. That mentality still exists.
It does.
And I think it's going to hurt them significantly, the left, because if they don't realize why he was elected the opposite viewpoint of the people who support, these conservatives, they're going to lose again.
They're going to keep drinking Brondo.
Yeah, exactly.
So who here's still guilty watching the Trump winning compilations on YouTube? Because they are hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah, everyone's here. Yep.
Guilty,
Okay.
guilty.
Yep.
So Pence he speaks at Taylor, gives a commencement address, and in 2017, Will Ferrell gave a commencement speech at USC, And so we have to ask ourselves, everybody listens to Will Ferrell. First of all, I think he's very funny, Will Ferrell. And of course, I would stay in both and listen. Even if a Democrat spoke, I would listen to the Democrat as well. But we just want to give you some ideas of what Will Ferrell said. And everybody stayed there. And why is one okay and one the other not? Let's hear it.
And then there's me.
Yes.
Will Ferrell.
He'd just gotten an
whose
honorary
achievements include
doctorate.
running naked through the city of Montrose in Old School.
Great movie.
Montrose in the house, all right.
I don't think Pence would be saying that. So.
Running around in my underwear and racing helmet, thinking that I'm on fire as Ricky Bobby in Talladega Nights. Running around in elf tights, eating gum off the ground. And playing cowbell. I think my fellow doctorates would agree, based on our achievements, we are all on equal footing.
Because they gave multiple people honorary doctorates,
Yep.
and he's saying he's just as good as they are. And of course, this is hysterically funny. But the idea that there's only one kind of commencement speaker that's acceptable, either a liberal commencement speaker or a Hollywood actor who's really cool, and everyone else is not allowed. I mean, final thoughts.
Yeah,
on
I
this
don't
guy.
think it's that. I think it's that they don't have a problem with somebody like a Will Ferrell because everyone can agree on a comedian, right? It's funny, but the moment you bring someone that challenges your thoughts, it's inappropriate.
Would they throw the same fit if President Obama went to the commencement speech? I would have sat through it. I mean, I agree with everything he did, but Michelle Obama would be the same thing. But everyone loves it.
I relish the opportunity to challenge, to counter argue, my points and stuff. So.
Absolutely. And now we have the dumbest bill in America. A New York State senator proposed a $250 fine for texting while walking. That's texting while walking, up to $250 fine, because he wants to protect you from your own stupidity. And here's the clip.
Texting while walking. It's not only dangerous, but soon it could be a crime in New York State. A new bill introduced into the state Senate would make it illegal for you to cross streets in the state with your eyes glued to your smartphone.
So, I'm sorry, guys. I mean, this is when you have not a lot of things to do. If someone chooses to text and walk, right, and they hit into someone or they run into a wall or a pole, or they walk off the street and they get hit, I mean, it's really, really stupid. But it's obviously, what are you going to do? Just have the texting police on the... I mean, this is stupid. What do you guys think about this? I'm sure you've seen it.
We can't kill stupid, unfortunately. We have to live with it. But,
Is the legislation necessary? Do we need more legislation like this?
No.
Is legislating common sense, and I say survival of the fittest. If you get taken out because you're walking and texting, then we're better off for it.
Sure. How about a $250 fine for walking out on a commencement speech? So, I mean, there we go. I mean, we can pass almost any bill we want to pass, but how are we going to, we have the freedom of using our phones wherever we want.
Yeah.
Unless it's a private club or something like that. I mean,
but the fact that it's gotten this bad, isn't that's a sign right there that we're dumbing down, right? That it's actually that big of a problem that cars, people are worried about hitting people because they can't take their eyes off the phone.
Sure,
yeah,
I agree. I mean, but your
I'm just at a loss for words.
Your generation does the selfies too. Like you do it on a cliff. And
there's deaths. There's deaths attributed to people doing selfies or doing the one arm hang and then like this and they lose their grip and they fall like 1,000 feet. It's like oh.
Worth it.
Absolutely. So now
I love you, Ricky.
So now we have the presidential race. DeBlasio announces for president. The mayor of New York wants to be president of the United States. He's probably one of the worst mayors in the history of New York. Everybody agrees. We have a clip on this. I think it's Trump, right? Talking about it. All right, let's hear it.
I can't believe it. I just heard that the worst mayor in the history of New York City, and without question, the worst mayor in the United States, is now running for president. It will never happen. I'm pretty good at predicting things like that. I would be very surprised to see him in there for a long period, but it's just not going to happen. If you like high taxes and if you like crime, you can vote for him. But most people aren't into that. So I wish him luck. But really, it'd be better off if you got back to New York City and did your job for the little time you have left. Good luck. Do well.
And this podcast is about the dumbing down of America. And of course, now we have the dumbing down of Democratic candidates. I mean, they just get dumber and dumber. What do you guys think about de Blasio's chances?
Are we at 25 Democratic candidates right now? But anyways, no. I heard about de Blasio and his campaign stuff. He only has 5 people, but they say in the statement it's a lean, mean, fight machine campaign. But it's like, I think it's just for name ID and for kicks to get his name out there for maybe a decade later, but honestly, it's stupid.
I think it's because he knows he's done in New York State, so he figures he has to go to the national scene because after that, there's no future.
No. He's looking for probably a DNC party chairmanship, but they're not going to give that to him.
Andrew, thoughts about de Blasio? It's a scary
I don't know.
thought.
Yeah, it is with de Blasio, and now you got AOC. I don't know what's in the water in New York. Maybe too many electrolytes or something.
Remember, there's plenty of money in this world. It's just in the wrong hands.
Oh, yeah.
de Blasio,
that's
right?
one of his key campaign points, right? There's
Absolutely.
plenty of money. It's in his video. That's crazy to me. That's in his video.
And he's proud of it.
He says it. He's proud of it. There's too much money, but it's in the wrong hands. It should be in his...
Super Marxist. And the thing is let's just say he were the Democratic candidate, the nominee. I think that all you have to do is replay the clip where he, on Groundhog Day, he was holding a groundhog and then dropped it. And the groundhog, a few days later, ended up dying as a result of this. So de Blasio was a groundhog killer. I mean, we have a clip on this.
This footage from Groundhog Day 2014 shows freshly inaugurated Mayor Bill de Blasio appearing to drop Staten Island Chuck. A week after the de Blasio fumble, the groundhog did a few more events before being found in its zoo space deceased on February 9th.
He killed the groundhog.
He really did, by the way. I mean, everything that we're saying here is absolutely accurate. The groundhog did die. The doctor said it did die as a result of its injuries from being dropped by de Blasio on Groundhog Day. So I'm guessing the groundhog maybe didn't see his shadow. So
yeah, I mean, if you gotta watch,
he saw his shadow 6 feet under.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta watch the video because when they hand him that groundhog, it tried so quickly to get away from de Blasio. They say animals have a sixth sense. Like, I mean, maybe it's a sign, right?
Yeah. It's like, don't do this to me, please.
Run away from his platform. We're on skyscrapers.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And speaking of stupid candidates, Beto, he just gets dumber. He gets a haircut, and he decides to broadcast his haircut because it's like Seinfeld. It's a campaign about nothing. And here's Beto. It's a clip.
O'Rourke live streamed his visit to the barber, where he got a back massage and had his ear hair trimmed.
I'm cutting out some of this ear hair that you get when you get older.
The barbershop live stream comes on the heels of a trip to the dentist earlier this year.
White House counselor to the president, Kellyanne Conway, tweeting, "Oh no, Beto, stop forcing us to look in your mouth at the dentist or hear about your ear hairs at the barbershop."
So that's Beto. That's his campaign, by the way. He's not talking about issues. He's basically, broadcasting himself.
A day in the life. And he's trying to be hip with millennials because millennials have vlogged their lives. I don't do it, but we see plenty of them that get a lot of money, and he's trying to become hip and trying to get that millennial vote. But we're not that big of a voting block yet.
Well, you are. You just don't vote yet.
That's true too.
You're a huge voting bloc.
Massive. Yeah.
They just don't vote.
I like the Seinfeld reference because I think his campaign, he yada yadas the policies and then just goes straight into filming these things that people want to watch. It's like taxes, yada yada yada. Here's me with swimming in a pool in cool shorts or something. I don't know.
And then hops on a dining counter.
Yeah. And someone said on a news program that his next act is going to be filming a colonoscopy or something like that and showing everybody. I mean, obviously that would be awful, and we're just joking about it. But this guy, he thinks do millennials care? Do they actually care that to watch him have his ear hair pulled out?
I don't know, but he turned heads when he was in a Metallica sweatshirt and going to a Metallica concert. I was like, oh wow, he's cool. But it's like,
Yeah, I guess it makes him relatable. I don't know. I mean, if you have ear hair, that makes you more relatable to him. But I think that's the only play there. I don't know how it plays. I don't know if it gets people out to vote. It's not getting millennials out to vote for you.
Exactly. And it just proves how they keep dumbing down their candidates, de Blasio and Beto. I mean, that's what the Democrats keep doing with these candidates. Their campaign's really about nothing. They don't achieve anything in their real lives. They achieved nothing while they were in office. And then they say, well, now I want to be president of the United States.
Oh, and we saw that happening with Hillary Clinton's campaign when she got Pokemon Go, got Snapchat, and started pandering to multiple certain groups of people in the millennial bracket. It's like,
Exactly. So next we have Uber and Lyft manipulate fares at Reagan National Airport. And here's how they do it. they all turn off their apps together. All the drivers, the Uber and Lyft drivers, they turn off their apps, which means there are hardly any drivers available. And then there's a surge in pricing because demand exceeds supply.
Wow.
And then they turn their apps back on, and then it costs a fortune to go just a short distance to your home from the airport. Has this happened to you guys?
Thankfully, no, but the workaround probably be for Uber and Lyft to write in the code to say, if you turn your app off, we're not going to give surge in pricing for like 4 or 5 hours, so they lose the money and the whole deal goes mute.
Sure.
I mean, it could have happened to me. There's no way to know if you're the consumer, right? I mean, this is a tech glitch, and I guess it's probably what happens with a lot of these like disruptive technologies. It's like you go, full speed ahead, you disrupt, the taxi industry, and then it's like you figure out down the road that, oh, here's some problems that we may stumble upon.
Though I do have an example, though. My friends, $20 Uber ride from Towson to Baltimore Power Plant for Halloween.
Yeah.
On the way back, $350.
What?
Just for,
yeah.
Oh my God.
That was when Uber first came out, when they didn't realize that surge thing it would happen so frequently or so aggressively.
Yes.
But I think it was based on amount of calls for an Uber, so it's like, oh, all these people, like 50 to 100 people are calling an Uber ride, so
so maybe a $250 fine for texting and driving should be a $250 fine for manipulating the app.
Maybe.
But how do you know that they've done that, right? I think just basically Uber and Lyft know.
Or just the app gets turned off, they lose connection with their service, and then they turn back on, so still doesn't apply.
Other than consumer, their consumer attitude towards the company, there's no disincentive for them to change the policy because they're making money off of it.
They're making much more money for less time.
Yeah, that's why the employees are doing it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But they're going to lose their rider base, and someone else is going to create another Uber ride-sharing app and be done with it.
And I know the millennial generation loves Uber and Lyft because you guys, so few of you own cars, right?
I don't want a DUI, so that's my reason.
Well, that's a good reason, actually.
We might be the last generation to know what calling a taxi was. When I was in college,
I hate taxis. That was a scam and a ripoff in college. Granted, it was the only thing there.
I used taxis.
Jimmy's
in my
cab.
senior year, I never called a taxi again.
It's
a 1 year difference.
It's sad for them, because they just didn't keep up with the times. They thought that they were just monopolies until technology made them no longer.
Most of them were still cash only, which was hard because all of us carried plastic.
Absolutely. Yep. So in California, there's a homeless problem so bad that people have made makeshift boats and they've gone out into the bay and they're living on the boats. And I think we have a clip on this. Let's hear it.
In the San Francisco Bay Area, the housing crisis has become so severe that some have adopted a novel solution. They're living on boats, and not quaint boats off Sausalito or yachts. According to the Wall Street Journal, about 100 people are living on a ragtag flotilla of barges, sailboats, and other vessels the paper describes as, quote, decrepit. They aren't all vagrants. Some hold jobs. One woman bought a boat for $15,000 because rent for a studio apartment had grown to $3,000 a month. Do the math, it'll pay for itself in less than half a year. It might sound like an adventure, but it's also third world. Just like tent camps, most boats are not designed to be lived on permanently. During storms, they can endanger lives and cause damage, huge amounts of damage. These flotillas are illegal, by the way, but just like exploding housing prices, Bay Area government doesn't seem very interested in it or serious about fixing it.
And guys, here we're talking about how America's large cities are run by Democrats and have been for many generations, and they just keep getting dumber and dumber the way they're running these cities because they'd rather bring in illegal immigrants and give them housing and give them assistance. Meanwhile, we have a population that's already here that is in trouble for a variety of reasons, and they're not addressing that at all. So these folks have made their makeshift boats, and they're living on the bay, and obviously they're bathing in the bay, and they're going to bathroom there as well. Thoughts about this?
At least the American stereotype is that we're very innovative is still true.
Wait a minute, that's a squirrel.
Squirrel. You're welcome. I gotta get one in.
This is sad. It's like a population left behind, and I think it's an indicator from you got these people that are running, the politicians that are running these cities and states. I mean, California being one. This is in California, right? So we got one of the highest tax states. They got all this revenue coming in, and they're more focused on expanding different types of entitlements to gain voters. So let me throw your money this way because these people are going to vote for me if I keep doing that. Instead, you got all these people that don't have, you could argue that the three basic human rights, right? Food, water, shelter. These people don't have shelter. One of the three, and we're worried about all these other different types of entitlements. And
well said, Andrew.
It's crazy.
Man, that's perfect. That's exactly
What are
right.
they spending money on?
There's an example. San Francisco is own worst enemy. There's a Vice special talking about Skid Row and how Skid Row is like the homeless mecca of San Francisco. It's relatively cheap, speaking San Francisco terms. And there's been this long family-owned laundromat. The owner wanted to tear down the laundromat and build an apartment building with like 400 to 500 units. That would be low cost and everything like that. But then San Francisco city ordinances say, oh, you're casting shadow into a school playground next door, when it was like only like a corner with a tree there on the school playground property, and saying, oh, it's going to cause noise with the construction, can't do this, it's going to be environmentally impactful. And it's like, wait, we're trying to figure out what's going on here.
So let me ask you something. Why doesn't the media ever call out Nancy Pelosi as being responsible for this, or any California politicians?
Feinstein, San Francisco.
The state is run by Democrats, right?
Yep.
It's controlled the state legislature, the governor, the state senators. The majority of their representatives in the House of Representatives are Democrats, and they tend to be very left Democrats. Why doesn't the media ever say, hey, look, you guys are in charge. Why don't you fix this problem first?
Doesn't matter. I don't think it matters if the media, first, most media is skewed left anyways, right? But even if the right-wing media is calling them out, it doesn't matter, because if they keep expanding entitlements, they're finding new things to, gain people's support. It's like appeasing. It's like, well, if I give you this pot of money, they won't care for a little bit.
And they see votes. They see votes, and that's why they don't want that Census 2020 question.
It's incredible. I know, I agree. So last up, we have Tech Talk. We have the Wonder Wall. This is pretty cool. I think we have a clip on this. Let's hear the clip first, because it kind of speaks for itself. It's a new technology. It's very cool.
Meet Scribit, the world's first write and erase robot that creates a different image whenever you want. 2 nails and a plug is all you need to install Scribit. And thanks to the app, it's always connected. Create an image or source it from the web, then upload it to the app, and Scribit will reproduce it on your wall within minutes.
So you attach this item to the wall by using 2 nails, and then you download the app, and it will basically draw any kind of drawing that you download from the app. And I think you can even create your own drawings as well. And it will literally draw what you download or create yourself on the wall, and then it will erase it as well. So
sweet.
It's a tool.
Yeah.
It's a tool for working. It's a tool for decorating. It's a tool
giving
for
to your
businesses.
kids, not to ruin your walls.
And it's kind of art too, right? You could literally draw the art theoretically on an iPad or a large iPad or a large screen, and it draws it right there. I'm not sure, what other application would you use it for?
Businesses have things on their walls, advertising, stuff. It's really awesome. I think the coolest part is that it erases what it draws, so you can constantly change. People pay a lot of money for like tapestries and things they put on their walls, like artwork.
Or
this is
flat
genius.
screens to
That's
display
exactly
logos.
I was thinking that too, Andrew, about the fact that you could actually redecorate the entire room every so often, and it wouldn't really cost anything.
You decorate for seasons, Christmas, holidays.
It's brilliant. It's
Yule
awesome.
log. That'll be a big hit for the Christmas party.
Yule log.
Yeah, Yule log. Squirrel. Got 2. Yes.
Those are the last thoughts of Mark and the Millennials. This is Mark Fisher with Mark and the Millennials. I want to thank Andrew, the Fuji Fulginiti, Ryan, the Squirrel Brady, and Adam Couture, our producer. Listen to us next time. It's Mark Fisher with Mark and the Millennials.